Hey everyone, welcome back, and let's get into the Sunday action in the MLB. We'll run the board quickly, get you guys on your way. It's going to be a heat wave out there, so myself will be finding a golf course and a pool very shortly. But as we wake up today and we get the coffee going, let's talk about the best bets. A quick recap from yesterday. I just want to let you guys know that it was one where we were one run away within that Chicago White Sox and Blue Jays game for a 4-game sweep. I did have a parlay fall by the wayside that would have kind of took up all of my picks in a kind of round robin fashion within the likes of the Dodgers team total going over the 4. I even had it lowered to 4.5, and just was kind of one of those nights we stayed up late watching some West Coast baseball with the Dodgers and Nationals, and it definitely under-delivered in that regard. But we'll look to cash some tickets today. I do have 3 plays for you on the diamond, and it's kind of one of those weird days where I kind of have my finger on the trigger on a lot of these games, but I'm just not willing to get invested. I think we're going to take some of the wins, and some of the best bets that you do lay are the ones that you don't actually make. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to share with you my best bets. Thank you all for tuning in to TBM Sports and waking up with us. If you have not done so, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us. Really close to 10,000 subscribers. Need you guys to do that. Let's get this thing moving here on YouTube, and let's get into the picks. All right, so the first thing I'm going to share with you guys is we are using Outlier. A lot of you guys probably have heard of this, but check it out, 7-day free trial. That link is down below in the description. If you're not using Outlier, I think statistically you are at a disadvantage unless you really kind of just keep a good log of everything and like looking everything up and taking hours to kind of digest information. But with some of the paid subscriptions that I do have within the sports betting industry, Outlier is definitely at the top of that list. Don't overpay for bets, okay? And that's why we're going to look at these games using Outlier, so that way when you guys watch my show, you do get the premium content where you will find the best numbers available. So if you use multiple sports books, definitely puts you up in that regard, okay? The first game that we will talk about is the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees, and a lot of people have their pulse set that the Yankees are back. We had a little bit of an explosion yesterday offensively. The Yankees took care of business in Baltimore. I really do have a feel for the over in this game. I think that we're going to see a lot of balls flying out of the yard today. I think that it's going to be an explosive offensive day. And that's also kind of why I have my finger on the trigger, right? A little hesitancy, right? It seems too good to be true. A lot of plus pitching matchups, great ballparks, great wind direction. I'm not a meteorologist, but I can tell you one thing. When I used to play baseball and the temperatures and some of this humidity was just setting up like this, you really could have one-armed home runs. It's just the truth. And these major league players, they definitely will take advantage. Especially with the higher velocity pitchers that you will see here today. We have a lot of reasons to think that this Yankees-Orioles game will go over the total, okay? And that's what I'm looking at. I would go definitely over the total of 9.5. That will be a lean. But I think that there is a world where the Yankees take care of business on their team total. The Orioles kind of maybe stay in the gate a little bit, and they don't get out of the start of this game with any kind of offensive momentum. And I think that them being blanked yesterday, I believe 9-0, does trickle into today. I think Dean Kramer gets absolutely shellacked for the Orioles. I think that we're going to see a huge offensive performance, like I said, but I do want to take the Yankees. I think there's a little bit more value than the 9.5, okay? Because in a world where we only get like a 7-2 win for the Yankees, that checks a lot of boxes, but we don't win that 9.5 over. So I'm taking the Yankees here on the run line -1.5 as my first official play, and that's probably my least favorite play to do in all of baseball betting. I hate betting the Yankees for some reason. It just kind of, it's just kind of that popular bet, and it just kind of gives me like I don't even know what you would call it, but my Scooby sense goes up because it's definitely a public side, and unfortunately on a Sunday divisional game, you're going to see a lot of this kind of trickle into the equation, but I do kind of lend towards the over and Yankees -1.5. Those would be my best bets, okay? And actually, before we get going, shout out to the LSU Tigers taking Game 1 of the College World Series. Don't sleep on those Division I baseball players, but we did cash that ticket. I forgot to share it over in the Discord with the under in that game. And yeah, so hopefully you guys all made out on that if you did dabble into the college baseball arena, but kind of low-key rooting for Coastal Carolina. Apologies to all you Tigers fans. But anyways, I digress. Let's get into the next game, Tigers and Rays. Let's take a look at it, okay? This is Casey Mize going as he takes on Zach Littell. Now, in this spot, the Tampa Bay Rays have been one of the best teams offensively, I think, in the entire major leagues. And that's kind of a funny thing to say 10 times fast because you would not have said that as the year started off, okay? Now the Rays come in 43-34 on the year. I think Mize gets it done, but this is something where I'm not betting against the Rays. Also, he does not go really too deep into the games, and I think that Tampa Bay will get to him. Kind of a little bit of a Groundhog Day for me a little bit because when I was going through the board and I was looking at my numbers and I was kind of equating them to the odds that we're seeing here in today's values, this was a day where I literally liked pretty much every single game I liked yesterday. So that's another reason why I'm kind of, I got one eye open with this card. But you got to trust the numbers. And sometimes you got to fire from the hip and you know, sometimes you take that foot off the gas pedal, and sometimes you just got to let it fly. So that's just kind of where I'm left at odds right now because I kind of want to enjoy this day. I don't want to have too much action going around, but I got to trust the numbers. So I will bet what I'm going to bet, and hopefully we turn out profitable on the other side. But I do like the Tigers and Rays. I just think that the Rays offensively is a team that I'm not going to bet against. And you're asking me, why do I like both teams? Well, that's exactly why I'm not going to bet the game, and that's exactly why the odds makers have this basically a pick 'em. This is a stay away game, okay, guys? And the reason why I'm talking about that is because I know a lot of you guys will want to bet this game. It's a early first pitch, 12:10 Eastern, but just, you know, this is a clear-cut stay away game. And even if the Rays come up victorious or winning by 20 or so, it's still going to be one that I'm not going to play. Rangers and Pirates. Now, this is an interesting one as we have Zach Leiter going against Bailey Falter. Now, Falter, a little lefty there. We got with a kind of a different kind of year this year, 5-3 on the year, 3.49 ERA. You know, the Rangers on the road, you can get down to that storyline. But I think this is where you look at the Rangers are either going to destroy the Pirates or the Pirates are going to win this game. You know, something really low scoring. And that's just kind of how I feel about it. This is a very tough team to handicap. A lot of these interleague matchups, okay, mind you, are very tough to handicap. I kind of have to lend here with the handle that we're looking at your screen. I think 9 runs is a lot for the Pirates. Unless they're, you know, it's going to be humid there on the river down there in Pittsburgh. But I just think that this is a lot of runs for Pittsburgh in any game, okay? And that's just kind of how my mind's going in that direction. So I kind of have to agree with the money in this situation with the handle and go under if I was going to bet this game, but no official play. All right, next one, White Sox and Blue Jays. Those damn old White Sox only put up 1 yesterday, so we would have had a 4-game sweep if they would have just got 1 more run. A lot of runners left on base, too. I might want to kind of say that and allude to that. But the handicap was right. You got to trust the numbers, and that's why those hooks are important with totals. But it's okay. We've cashed more of those than we have got stung by half run. But as we look at Chris Bassett taking on Hauser, this is a game where, you know, I pretty much kind of gave the White Sox a little bit too much credit. Not enough to bet them, but this is one where the pitching matchup definitely does kind of sit up in the White Sox favor and the Blue Jays favor. And being in Toronto makes me really want to get involved with the under here. But this is kind of where I'm going to stay away from this game. A very tough team to handicap within the White Sox, and especially Toronto playing up in Toronto. It just kind of makes a little bit of a travel spot that kind of does get a little weird, I think, there more times than not. But I could see this game playing out to the likes of, you know, 5-4, 6-4, something like that. I think the number is appropriate on both sides. So no official play, okay? But I will tell you guys that the over for both of these clubs have been coming out fairly often. It's just kind of been lopsided where one side of those games ends up kind of blowing them out, okay? So it's kind of a tough one there. I like the under 9, but the numbers are telling me the over, okay? That will be a pass. The Braves and Marlins. Yeah, so this is kind of where we look into who we got going today. Me personally, with Sandy Alcantara, I think we're going to go at this matchup. And if you do want to back the Braves, I don't blame you. But if you watch that Marlins-Braves game in the first 5 innings, the Braves got kind of outplayed, in my opinion, by the Marlins, okay? Offensively, they're hitting more. They just kind of ran out of steam and played like shit in the second half of that game, okay, from the 5th inning on. But I do think that the Marlins are a scrappy bunch. I think that they can contest with the Braves, and I think that the odds are kind of showing that right now. Sandy Alcantara has had a couple good starts too, quality starts, kind of reversing form from how he started this year, the former Cy Young pitcher. I think that this game is going to be very interesting to watch, okay? So we'll see some definite offensive fireworks, I believe, in this game. Me personally, though, guys, this is a tough one to bet against the Braves. They kind of had that momentum late as they had I believe it was a top of the 9 home run. 3-run jack kind of put them over that team total that we needed. So knew it all the way, but I do think the Braves continue to roll here, but I'm not betting it because I think the Marlins could get a little sneaky here on this Sunday. All right. Brewers and Twins. I'd go right back to the Brewers. They're hitting the ball just like the Rays. I think the Twins are kind of in fade category. They might have the better pitching matchup in this spot, but I still think the Brewers get this one done. I came this close to making my card. Okay. This would be the plus money price that you just can't pass up with the Brew Crew on the road at plus 122, and that's kind of how I feel about it. So that is a very strong lean, no play. Reds, Cardinals, Andrew Abbott taking on Miles Mikolas. This is another one where I wanted to get involved. Andrew Abbott has been one of my darlings for betting on pitcher props this season. And I just think that the Reds come alive today and they get this one done. So it's Reds or nothing for me, minus 110 for Cincinnati. All right, next game. And thank you all for tuning in and waiting. But the first official play of the day, this is where we're going to just back up the truck a little bit, take some value. I personally like this bet more than pretty much everybody that you'll talk to today. It's a sucker bet if you want to get into that kind of territory. But Logan Gilbert. Here's where we're going to look at the Mariners pitcher and arguably maybe the best pitcher on that Mariners rotation. And he will be throwing against the Cubs on the road as Rhea comes into this game, 3.84 ERA, 4-2 on the season. And I'm going to be all over the Cubs. I think this one does have potential to go over in terms of the totals. I do like the Cubs team total a little bit, not too much, but the bet I'm making, I'm just taking the Cubs plus 100 on the money line at home. I think that's some extreme value in a game where I think it may come down to like a late 7th inning on score to decide the fate of either side. This is just kind of a play on the number. I want the Cubs at home plus 100. It's a sucker bet. They should be favored still, even though they're not, and it's just kind of something where you just wonder why the odds makers put things where they're at. Well, when the Mariners win today, then I'll tip my cap and I'll understand why. But for this 220 game, I'm going to trust my numbers and go with the Cubbies at home to take care of business on the money line. Okay. Next game, another official play, the Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies. And let's just call this one Old Faithful. Okay. This is where the odds makers kind of have to scrape back some of their money and agree with me. Okay. This is also a benefit of betting these early. Okay. But I think this one, we may have the potential to see a big crooked number, especially after the game yesterday. 5-3 was that total, okay? And that had a lot of potential run expectation with runners left on base. And these totals have crept up. So 11.5 up to 12.5 now in the market after the first game went 22 runs. I just think this is kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But when you get these offensive clubs just surging, playing in Coors Field against shitty pitchers for the Colorado Rockies, this is a tailor-made kind of a layup for me, where you have to just bet it. 12.5 is probably the biggest number you'll see outside of playing in Mexico City or down there with altitude. But I got to lay it. I think that the Rockies and Diamondbacks, the pitching matchup just kind of sets up for me in a way that I like Brandon Pfaadt and Santazzola. Let's just get one going here. Let's get a little 10-4 game in favor of the Diamondbacks. And hell, I don't even care if the Rockies win, okay? But the play for me is the over. We're going to trust it. And for those of you that are just watching me today, this is something where we've bet this pretty much. It becomes almost, if you're going to ride that wave, almost a system play in a sense, because if I've taken the Rockies over basically the last 3 days and you take them today, if you've cashed those tickets, it just kind of allows you to go for that overall net win, or kind of that, reversion to the mean where you can reduce your losses. So sometimes I give out these plays based on what I need to do for my bankroll. So that's why it's very important to watch every day. So it's not necessarily the current best for this day, but in a way, it's a play on the systems that essentially is the same thing, but just kind of alluding to that. All right. But we will go Rockies, Diamondbacks over 12.5. All right. Guardians and the A's, Jack Sears. I'm sorry, I keep saying Jack Sears every time this kid pitches. That's a Notre Dame football player, but it's JP Sears going for the Athletics, and I think that Ciccone within the Guardians. Cleveland, I think this is going to be a game where we might see an over. 9.5 is that total set in Sacramento, but I do think that the Guardians are live -120. They took care of business yesterday. I think they stay hot. So I will go lean towards the Guardians in this contest. Red Sox and Giants, this is kind of a fishy number as well. I think that personally Robbie Ray should be a little bit better of a favorite, against the Red Sox. And the reason why I'm getting into that, I'll show you guys, on your screen as we look at kind of the pitching props there for Robbie Ray. I want to talk about kind of earned runs, and I want to look into his recent performance. Okay, the last 3 games out, he went over 1.5 earned runs, so a little bit more so regression. If you see here, these green and red bars here on the over 1.5. All right. So 2 of his first 7 games dating back to, I don't even know what start that was. This would have been back in April 26. He pitched exceedingly well, okay? And as we look at kind of his game logs, this is relevant in my personal opinion, because this was a game that I think that a lot of people will be betting. I think this is one that does have edge. The Giants, for my money, kind of a sneaky contender out there in the NL West. Getting to be a little bit of a trendy dog, okay, but Robbie Ray has been kind of fading away from the mean, and I think that as we've seen 3-4 or 3-2-2, and in the month of June, I should say, he had an outstanding May, and I think that as we've basically not given up an earned run in the month of May, now he has essentially given up 7 earned runs in 3 starts in June. I think that there is a conversation to be had that a little bit of a reversion to the mean is going on. Not enough where I'm willing to fade the Giants here. If the Red Sox could hit the baseball a little bit better, I think this is where the plus 136 value for the Red Sox is live. I do love taking the Red Sox as dogs, but this is kind of where it sets up. If you do like Robbie Ray, you like that lefty on Red Sox matchup, I just personally think that this is a Giants cake win, but I want to see one more start from Ray before we start getting into, backing him like we were doing back in the earlier months of the season. Okay, so this will be a pass. Astros and Angels. We'll look at Kyle Hendricks and Gusto. For me, guys, this is over 9.5 and Astros to the moon. I just personally think that Hendricks is ultimate fade candidate. There's no real thought involved with this one, but Houston at minus 125 is a little bit too cheap according to my numbers, but no official play. All right, the last couple that we're going to get into, the Nationals-Dodgers. We get to see Ohtani on the bump once more, making his second start of the season. I thought about getting back into and double dipping on those props within his pitching market. I still think he only goes 1 inning today. I really do. It's an end of a long series. He's played full games, and now he comes back and bounces back and has to go throw a start out there at a quick turnaround. I just think he goes 1-2 innings tops again. I don't think that they're going to have that leash loosened on him. So going against Soraka for the Nationals, kind of an interesting way of approaching the Dodgers. If you look at kind of how they've followed up a loss, they've always kind of won, and I think that's why we're seeing them as minus $3 favorites. The one thing about them, though, is that they have not cashed that run line in 4 straight games. So if you were going to bet the Dodgers, it would be run line or nothing at minus 145. I just don't see any value in that personally. So if you want to get a little fun, maybe do a little Ohtani prop within his pitching, and that's probably the only thing I would do. And I guarantee you, just because I missed it last night, that the Dodgers team total will go over in this contest. That's pretty much a foregone conclusion. So I'll have fun watching that one come home, but I will not be betting the Dodgers Nationals game. Okay, Royals Padres, interesting Seth Lugo as we look to take on the likes of Randy Vasquez. For me, guys, this is a kind of a weird game. No play for me. If anything, I think this is another over. And, I like the Royals, just being honest, okay? The Padres are in a little bit of a funk. I think that's pretty evident. And if I was going to bet this game, it would be Royals or nothing, fading Randy Vasquez, but not enough for me to get involved. I think the number does back it up, but I think that the Kansas City's 4 out of their last 5 in San Diego. They are not really, I guess, in that rhythm, but they have played the Dodgers, and that's kind of where you see them, taking 2 of 3 after they were on the verge of a sweep against the big brother out there on the West Coast. So that's kind of how I feel about that game. It's Kansas City or nothing, but this probably will be a pass as well. All right, and then the last game on the card, Mets, Phillies. We get a little Sunday night baseball. Have fun with this one. Coin flip game. If you guys just want to bet it, taking Phillies at home would be my edge. That's where the numbers would set up. But the Mets, they took care of business as we look at kind of the matchup that we'll get coming off of a game yesterday where the Mets took care of business 11-4. But the Mets did have dropped some straight. So I think that the Phillies can bounce back today behind the likes of Jesus Luzardo. But David Peterson is that ace for the Mets. The pitcher that I will not bet against, I should say. So this will be a pass for me, albeit I do like taking the Phillies. Probably not the bat in the 9th, gives you the best plus money value. Okay, so that would be where I stack up on this one. Okay, appreciate you guys. I know this was a longer video, kind of rambling on with the coffee flowing. I got a tea time to make, so fortunately won't get able to hit some balls, but we'll roll some putts and enjoy some beverages on the golf course, and hopefully we can kind of dot that up with a little pool session, because it will be I think like 95 degrees today. So and humid. So enjoy it. Let's cash some tickets. Enjoy the NBA Finals tonight, Game 7 action with the Pacers and Thunder. No video for that, but I'll put my plays over on the Discord a little bit later on for those of you that care. Let me know down below in the comments who you guys are rolling with, Thunder or Pacers. I want to know down below. Appreciate you all as always. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Good luck with your picks. Cheers.